Hello and welcome. I've seen several videos with this ice effect that I really want to try, and so today I am going to experiment with using the Octopus inks and activators, as well as a few other things, just to see what happens. My intent is really just to try to figure out what is the right combination of product and number of drops, let's say, and then what other mediums might I actually be able to incorporate into this as well. I did purchase the 3 activators from Octopus Ink. There's the Enoki, and then there's also this Pom-Pom, and there's also another one called Milk. And so I'm going to try working with those, as well as the resin inks from Octopus. They do have alcohol inks, but my understanding is you should make sure you purchase the resin ink if you want to get the ice effect. But I also want to see what happens if I use a pigment paste, as well as some standard alcohol ink. And on the alcohol inks, I'm going to try doing it with both the Pinata and the Ranger, just in case there's a difference between the two. And I'm also going to try a metallic alcohol ink, just in case there is a difference in the composition of the chemicals in it, to see if it makes any difference. I also want to try just some regular everyday mica, and I want to see what happens if I spritz with isopropyl alcohol, how it will react. So I will try to count out the drops as I go along. And please keep in mind this is just an experiment. Hopefully by doing this we'll find out the right formulation. And in complete transparency, I did try this once already, not knowing any formula. And I'll show you how that turned out, because it definitely did not turn out the way I was expecting. It does not look like the ice effect I've seen. So I definitely know I'm doing something incorrectly. I'm just not 100% sure what that is yet. So hopefully today I will be able to figure out that and share with you so that you have this information as well. I'm just going to go back to basics and play, so I'll go ahead and get started. I mixed about 11 ounces of resin, and I'm going to separate that into cups just so that it does not start to cure on me or overheat or anything of that nature. And in this first one, I'm going to put 15 drops of the Enoki. And just for the ease of remembering, for these first 3 coasters, I'm going to use the 15 drops of the activator mixed with clear resin. And I'm pouring just enough of the white to cover the bottom of the coaster round mold here. And then I'm going to put 3 drops of the black Pinata and mix that and pour that in the middle of the white that I already poured, and then add a little clear in the middle. And now I'm going to try using the Pom-Pom activator, again the 15 drops, and see how that reacts with the Ranger alcohol ink, the green. And again, I'm just pouring this on the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom of the mold, and I'm pouring that green Ranger into the center just like I did with the black Pinata, and pouring some white after. And for this last one, I'm going to try the Milk activator. I don't know what this one does at all, so we'll find out. And I'm going to again do the 15 drops and pour that in the bottom of the mold, making sure it's covered with the milk mixture. And then I'm going to put that brass Pinata, and I'm going to do 7 drops of that and mix it with the resin and pour that directly in the middle of the white. Alright, now that those are done, I'm going to leave those off to the side and move on to these. For this first one, I'm going to try mixing milk and Enoki together, see what happens. And again, pour that to cover the bottom. And for these, I think I'll use this night blue resin ink, 4 drops mixed with the clear resin. And then I'll pour that right in the middle. And then I'm going to do 3 drops of this wisteria mixed with resin and pour that right in the middle as well. And then I'll add a little bit of the clear and pour that in the middle. For this next one, I'm going to use 20 drops of the Enoki. And I think for this I'll do the pigment paste. And I'll mix that with my resin and pour that right in the middle, and then follow with a little clear resin. For these last 3, I think I'm going to do 10 drops of Enoki in this first one, and use just regular mica with clear resin and pour that in the middle, and then add a little clear. And now for the second one, I'm going to do 30 drops of Enoki. I want to see what happens actually if I just put the resin ink directly in the white. So I'm going to use 2 drops of this cherry resin ink, and then I'll add a little bit of clear. Alright, on this last one, I'm going to use 30 drops of the Enoki, 3 drops of the Patrol. Alright, I had a little extra here, more than I needed, so I'm going to put some over here. And now I'm mixing 5 drops of the pumpkin, and I'm going to pour that in the middle of the Patrol. And again, I had more than I needed, so I'm going to put some of that over here too. And now I'll add some clear on both. And on that last one, I'm going to spritz that with some isopropyl just to see what happens. And I'm going to move these out just so there's no cross-contamination. Alright, that's interesting. It started moving immediately after I sprayed. Alright, now we'll just let this cure and we'll see what happened. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little embellishment in the middle of that one just to see how it looks. Okay, they're finally cured so we can see our results. I'm just going to demold. Here's the first one with the black Pinata alcohol ink. It did nothing. Alright, now this was the green Ranger alcohol ink with the Pom-Pom. And again, it did nothing. And finally, we have the brass Pinata alcohol ink with the milk. And it did nothing. So conclusion for me, I do not think that the alcohol inks work very well with the Octopus Activators. Alright, we'll move on to this one with the Enoki mixed with the milk and the resin inks. You can see a little bit here, but it's not the effect I was hoping to achieve. Now this is the one with the pigment paste and Enoki. This isn't the effect I'm going for, but that's actually really cool, and I'll probably play with that in a different way at some point. Now this is the one with the mica and the Enoki. Again, it's an interesting effect, kind of like a web effect, but not what I was going for. I'm starting to get a little hopeless, guys. Hopefully one of these works out. Alright, this is the one where I just dropped the resin ink directly into the Enoki and also added some of the Patrol and pumpkin. It's pretty interesting looking, but again, it's not what I'm looking for. Okay, here's our final chance, fingers crossed. This is the one with the 30 drops of Enoki and the Octopus Patrol and pumpkin, using the more traditional method that I did not know how many drops I would need. Pay dirt. We finally have the effect. I was looking, I did not think I was going to find this now. But finally with this last one, we have it. So we actually know how many drops to use. And I actually like these colors too. They're pretty nice. So the clear winner is the 30 drops of Enoki with the Octopus resin inks. Now I need to try this on a larger scale and see what happens. So stay tuned for another video. And I also like this pigment paste and the one with the mica, how they turned out. They're pretty cool, so I might have to try those again too. Well, I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and it provides you with the right formula to be able to create the ice effect yourself. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell to be alerted to future videos.